Hello everyone, welcome back to Tusk Gaming. In this exciting and steamy episode, we're bringing you the first of many dual builds in Dungeons & Dragons Online. Now this is going to be a 10-minute build. I'm going to do my best to keep it at that. This is just for beginners or someone who hasn't had the opportunity to create a dual class or have gotten a character up to max level, level 20 or beyond. All right, let's go ahead and get into this video. Now, I want to create a Dragon Lord Alchemist using the crossbow. So, and you know, it's going to be a little tricky, but I think we can get there. I'm not necessarily going to be primarily using wands, if you will. We're going to be using basically the focusing power and healing power of the Alchemist as a raw class. Most of our skills that we're going to do are going to go into the Dragon Lord, a little bit into a racial tree, not a whole lot, and then we're going to have just a few in the Fey Dark Illusionist tree so we can get 2 special things. Actually 3. Added spell points, a blur, permanent blur, which is going to be very useful, and then a improved type shield. All right, let's go ahead and get into this. Let's just do it. We're going to start with the specialist class first and go to the Alchemist. Now we're going to go ahead and roll. Now I'm going to be taking the Drow Elf. I've done some thought on this, and because we are going a little bit more on the dexterity and intelligence side, maybe a little bit on the charisma, just for a UMD use, that is use magic device, if you did not know. And then the constitution is neither here or there. It's just going to be average. It's going to be the point of the build is not be a frontline combatant, but be a really good ranged one with good solid healing ability. That is really what we're going for. All right, we're going to make it female. All right, now we're going to get the negative out of that. We're going to bring this up at least the starting point of, I want 17. Now the constitution, we'll worry about that in a moment. We're going to take intelligence to 16 just to kind of see where we're at. And then maybe the rest. Oh, there we go. That would be nice, wouldn't it? So we're going to do 18 dexterity, 16 intelligence. We're going to do a wisdom. Well, you know what? We're going to negate that wisdom out to there. Ooh, this is going to work out really well, isn't it? There we go. I think that's going to work out really good for this particular build. Well, wait a minute. I'm going to go ahead and get a little bit more intelligence. That looks rocking to me. We're not going to base a lot of our stuff on strength. Remember, dexterity and intelligence is really what we're going for. All right, let's go ahead and hit next. Now, we've got a really good intelligence, and so that's given us a lot of skill points. We're going to max out balance. Gonna max out concentration. Gonna max out the heal. Going to pump up the search, the spot, and yes, we're gonna do use magic device. Now these other ones we really don't need so much. So we're going to go with why not? We're gonna go with split the spellcraft. We're just gonna go in spellcraft. All right, I think that's good. And then we're not gonna do 2 weapon fighting. We're going to come down, straight away, and get mental toughness right away. Hit next. Now we need to think about a few things. Because we have a good intelligence, we should be able to affect a few things, but we need to keep in mind of why we're doing what we're doing. Now, some of the trees for the Alchemist will give you a cure light wounds, also a cure serious. If you put enough points into the tree. You also have stiffened skin in the vial tree. Elemental skin will be good. I do like running Temple of Elemental Evil in the beginning. And I do know that poison is going to be a problem. So we've got a total of 6 to choose from. So we're going to go ahead and hit Cure Light Wounds. I'm not going to worry about the Alchemist tree again. Otherwise, I wouldn't get that. If I was going to go full Alchemist, I wouldn't even get that spell. I would get it in the enhancement tree. I'm going to go remove poison, remove disease. These are must-haves, I think, unless you're going to get potions for remove poison. But if you're on a budget, you may not be able to afford that. And now what we're going to do is go to, I'm going to do gills. Basically, it's like underwater action in a sense, kind of, sort of. You're going to, we got 2 more. We're going to do fine dust. This will get them tripped, which is good. And then stiffened skin or elemental skin, you can go either way. Because I'm going to be ranged, I'm more worried about spellcasters, possibly, so we're going to do elemental skin. And you're not going to be able to load all the spells up anyway. You're just not going to be able to do that. Alright, now let's get a random look that we kind of like. She's cool looking. I love the eyes. We're going to go with that, but we're going to remove some of the facial blemishes. There we go. We're going to set the alignment to neutral. And good luck with the name whenever you go to name yours. Alright, let's see if Dreadlock works. We're rolling it. Oh my god. Dread. I hope I spelled it right. Well, we're going with it. Dreadlock Vampiric. That's a cool name. Alright, let's go ahead and get in. I'm not going to worry about setting any of my hotbars up right now or going through any of the settings. What we're going to do is just go straight into here. And we're going to go ahead and talk to them. And started the career as an alchemist. Now we're going to stay with alchemist. Make sure you don't pick artificer. Now we've got 7 points to put in. We are going to keep basically everything that we selected. More or less keep it maxed out. And next, now we get to choose 2 more spells. So we're going to go with we'll do the attack boost. That's a good one. +8. And then I'm gonna go with this one here just in case we fight something undead or something that gives us some strength damage or whatnot. Yeah, we're gonna do that. My main attack, my main damage is going to be the heavy or light repeating crossbow. Alright, we're level 2. We're gonna do the same thing. Alchemist. Keep on track. This is why it's important. Try to get the highest intelligence that you can. So when we're putting in the Alchemist, we get the most out of it. So this is going to be good. Now, if we just go all the way down, we don't have improved mental toughness. That would not be given until level 7 as an Alchemist, and we're not putting everything in alchemy to get that. So now the next best thing is we're going to need to kind of focus on what our narrative is. And we're going to want either die hard, dodge, toughness, or a heavy or light repeating crossbow. So what we're going to do is we're going to do toughness first. And then we're going to click 2 second level spells. That's going to be most important. We're going to be taking Curse. And then the next one probably needs to be Cure Moderate Wounds. And we're going to finish that up. Okay, now we're level 3. We're going to be putting it 4 levels in Dragon Lord. So we're going to do Fighter, Dragon Lord, and now we get to kind of choose. So if we went Intelligence 18, that boosts up by 1. That could be a direction to go. Or what we could do is we could do Dexterity up to 19. That way any items that we get just kind of bumps up that Dexterity a bit more. As soon as we get to 20, then we'll be at +5. So that's the direction I'm going to go. And it wouldn't hurt to put it in Constitution. So it's dealer's choice. We're going to click next. And then we've got only 5 points to put in, which isn't bad. Balance, concentration. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go on down the line. And let's see, we're gonna remove the search one and the heal. I think those are okay. I'm gonna put it in UMD and then try to bring spot up a little bit to at least on par with search. So anything I spot, I'll be able to look for. All right, now we go down to the fighter feats because all of those I just got. And I'm going to choose this one. Basically the hunger one. That way we get morale bonus to attack rolls. That's going to be good. And then we're going to hit next. Finish. Melee fighter now will automatically take us to the Dragon Lord fighter part. It is, you can't split regular fighter and Dragon Lord, so we're going to do that. And then we're going to come down, do one in spot, and then 2 and use magic device. All right, it's tempting to do 2 weapon fighting, but we're gonna resist. What we're gonna do now is, we've got a couple of options now. I'm going to save rapid reload for a little bit later. I want to make sure that I get the crossbows I need, the heavy repeating and the light repeating. That way I have a little bit of a choice between the two, but it has to be a repeating. You can do human and take them both pretty much right off the get-go if you need to. For a race, human is also a good choice. So we're gonna do fighter. I think balance might be okay. Gonna bring concentration up by 1, and we're going to bring UMD up, and then spot. All right, combat styles. Let's see what we got here. exotic weapon proficiency. Here we go. We're going to do light repeating crossbow. And this build is meant for the user, your character, to be in mithril scale or a lower armor class valued. You don't want to be in heavy, so I mean, you can't. You have to use mithril, so you'll be in medium armor. Even if it's heavy rated armor that's mithril, then it's medium. That's how that works. So they don't make a super heavy mithril heavy armor that is heavy armor. It's always medium. So we're gonna do that again. All right, and we're gonna just breeze. We're gonna breeze through this, and UMD 10, spot 10. That's lovely. All right, now, I highly suggest at this point to take rapid reload. These other aspects, quick draw, point blank, those are for other weapons. They're not for crossbows. So this is bow. This is like a hand, ninja shuriken, stuff like that. And then this is your crossbow. Make sure you read the description before you take anything. You want to really make sure you're going to be able to use what you're getting. All right, so there we go. Before I part, I want to spend my my action points, please. All right, so now this is where it gets a little tricky. I've got it boiled down, and this is what I was meaning in these different trees for the Alchemist, on why you wouldn't take those other spells. So if you're going to take Stiffened Skin, more or less, then you would just put 2 points into this and you'd have it. Same with, Cure or Inflict light wounds, or with this one here, you can select to be more potent in whatever element that you want. We're not going to be taking any of those. So we're going to go ahead and move this over to the trees that we're going to use. Now, the purpose of 3 levels in Alchemist is just for the heal aspect of it. A little bit of flexibility. Something fun to do, I think. So we're going to go ahead and get my little dragon familiar. Gonna pop in a little bit of that. Now, I'm not going to use charisma for my weapon modifier. I'm not going to use, I'm not going to make weapons, which is usually why I pick this tree, but I'm picking this tree for something different. So we're going to go with spellcraft and concentration, just 1 point in that. And then we're going to pick You've Got My Back, which is like the permanent shield, and then the bend light. That's what we're going to do with that one. Now with the drow elf, we're going to choose 1 to get her started, and then we're going to do arcane fluidity, which this is the key to this build and why we want to use mithril armor. That's going to be the key. Now there's one other tree that we need to sneak in here before we get into Dragon Lord. And let's see if I can remember which one it is. So I believe I think it's Inquisitive. Yes, the Inquisitive. Now, I don't have a way of creating bolts magically until we do this. Now I do. Now I can create and conjure my own bolts, and that is perfect. That's what we need. This here is what makes this build work 100%. All right, now we go ahead and go into our Draionic Soul. We're going to be, of course, choosing Acid, my favorite soul to use for the Draionic abilities. Now we can do resistance to the elements +3. That's always good. Not really worried about Intimidate, Jump, Haggle. advantage to with certain weapons. So we're going to choose this one here, double shot. And now what we're going to do is we're going to pump this up. So now we've got a 3% chance to double shot, which is beautiful. And we're going to make sure we're not really using any tactical feats either, because we're not melee, we're not doing trip, we're not doing sunder, we're not doing any of that. So we're going to go ahead and do one bump there. We're going to do the Draionic arms so we can get the imbue toggle. And now, you know, you kind of got 3 points. We're going to put it in natural armor because we're going to need that. That is going to be a need. And then there we go. This is the tree finalized. We're going to accept that. All right. So now the thing to do is to, you know, if you have anybody to talk to, sometimes this guy around the corner gives you weapons he used to. I don't think he's doing it. Oh, it looks like he's fixed. So look at that. So we get to select whatever gear we want. We're gonna want basically the fighter gear, because that is what our class mainly is. And then what we need to tweak out is, of course, may need to go to the auction. This is why it's good to do it with a guild, maybe get some help, or if you have plenty of platinum on your alt characters, just send them some. Get yourself some mithril scale. I guarantee it, you're gonna love it. All right, well, you know, that is pretty much gonna do it. That's the build that we're going with. It was a little fast, but thanks for tuning in, and we will go ahead and catch you next episode where I play this guy. All right, let's go ahead and we'll catch you next time. Tusk Sweeper signing out.